would have thought 250 episodes later, we would still be here. Well, we did because we have no life. Hello and welcome and hello. This is Total Spotfest.
Jesus, man.
I'm trying to think. Is it sesquicentennial? Yes, our sesquicentennial episode.
It's 200's the bicentennial.
Yeah, sesquicentennial is what 250
That's a mouthful.
Is. And the only reason I know that is when I was in college, I was actually an undergraduate when my fraternity had their sesquicentennial celebration. We all got like 250 t-shirts. Everything was 250 themed and all this stuff. And for some reason that always stuck in my head because it's a weird word. But yes, welcome to our sesquicentennial show, everybody. I'm not Jamie. I'm JJ. I'm tired. I have slept like ass.
Jesus, man. Yeah.
Oh, dude. I told Jamie a little bit here, Austin. I've been having like real bad sleep. And last night, I literally laid in bed for about 8 hours. Wide-eyed. Just couldn't sleep.
Yeah, that's never a good time.
But no, I am JJ. That is Jamie. We have Austin Reddick with us here. Welcome and hello to everybody joining in with us. If it's your first time here, we want to welcome you. If it's your 250th time here, we appreciate your dedication.
There's like 3 of them.
Absolutely. It's not even my 250th time here. I've only been around for like 20% of this.
Yeah, you've been around for like a quarter going on here. So how you boys?
You've been 50-something? 60? You're around 60? Because the interview?
52 would be a year, give or take, and Austin is not with us every single week. So I say 50-ish sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in that number, somewhere around that range,
more or less. Well, boys, I know Jamie, you just went on a big old boat here. How was your cruise?
It was phenomenal. I got to swim with dolphins.
Ooh.
That was stupid cool. Like they gave me a hug and literally laid their head on my shoulder, and then big smiles, gave me a kiss on my cheek and on my lips. I got pictures of this. Which will be going on the Book of Faces here before too long. But no, like awesome time, excellent food. The food was top tier. We had a lot of good times. We went to some like 70s and 80s epic rock show where these people like sang covers of like really, really good songs. So you knew if it's 70s and 80s, you automatically knew there were going to be 3 songs automatically going to be on this.
Well, you got Journey on there. Oh, absolutely.
You have Don't Stop Believing, of course. You have Bohemian Rhapsody, of course, and you have Stairway to Heaven, of course. And then after that, like, you had your usuals, but yeah, like you had to have your 3 big ones.
You might get some Fleetwood, but you got to get those 3 for sure.
No, they had no Fleetwood. It was literally, they did 2 Queen songs. They did Bon Jovi, of course, Living on a Prayer.
Sure.
They did, of course, Don't Stop Believing. They did Sweet Child of Mine. No, Paradise City. Sorry, Paradise City. They did a whole bunch of other ones. But yeah, no,
it was Aerosmith.
Yes, Dream On.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty rad, and the drinks were delicious.
Hell yeah!
That's how they get
I do gotta say, I'm a bit disappointed you didn't come back with the Hulk Hogan tan.
Well, it
was only 3 days, Austin. Come on, man.
Yeah, the one souvenir I did get was I got bug bites just like all over this one arm.
Oh,
I don't know how I got them, but yeah, I got this awesome redness right there, only on one arm, and it's from when I swam in the ocean. So something in the water bit me. It wasn't Charlie. Something bit me.
Something bit you.
Something bit me. Sorry.
I'm glad you had a fantastic time. Yeah, food is. We said last week. I mean, I'm a big proponent of cruising, so I'm happy. I am so happy you had a great time with it. And your wife's already got the bug too. I heard.
Oh yeah. She wants to get the rest of the fam going, which I'm in. So it was really cool. So
you gotta do a week-long cruise sometime, man. Those are the ones that are really cool because you go to multiple.
So that's
stops.
the next.
Yeah.
So that's what we're already looking at, and the thing was we got an Uber from our hotel over because we were gonna just do their shuttle, and like the lady's like, just get an Uber, you'll save like $50. I'm like, okay. It's literally like $25 from our place to the port with tip. Like it was dog ass cheap.
Wow.
So I was in. But the dude was hella great. Like he was this old like Vietnam vet, something like that. I don't know. He's just an old veteran, and he's like, yeah, man. If you really want to have like the best time, you go Disney. I'm like, man, Disney's so expensive. I was like, but you actually, this is the weird thing. You pay for what you get. I'm like, no, like Disney. When I go to Disney World, I don't feel like I pay for what I get. He's like, no, food's the best, entertainment's the best, all things you can do is the best. The service is top notch, and you get to stop like a whole bunch of Disney specific places, so they're not really overcrowded. I'm like, okay. You sold me. So that's what we're looking to do next.
Yeah, there you go.
But you know, I also am looking to do next.
Rob's going on a cruise in December. You're gonna love it, Rob.
Yeah.
Where are you going, Rob? Where are you going? Somewhere fun. Somewhere tropical.
No, what do you say?
Let's get tropical.
You said what are you looking to do next?
I'm looking forward to watching All In right now. I do know that.
It is. For some reason, I don't know why, but it hit me like, oh crap, that's like a week and a half away. You know, it's like it feels like it's been for so long. They've been. When did they start the build up for All In? December.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I mean, some of these things have been slow burn pieces.
Yeah,
like,
so it's
they're
like
very well done. Right
we are on the precipice, gentlemen, of All In.
We're the go home of the go home.
I mean, it's kind of go home because next week they're doing Dynamite in Cardiff, which will be interesting because there's no way that's going to be live for us, right?
Yeah, they're going to do it at 3 a.m.
Like, yeah, it's like, I mean,
yeah, it seems unlikely. Like, I feel like 3 a.m. on a Wednesday might kill the house a little bit. But the UFC just ran a pay-per-view in the UK at 3 a.m. on a Saturday, and you never know.
I mean, I don't know regional, you know, who knows? Maybe that's a thing. I mean, shit. We went to a show in Chicago when we went to All Out, Jamie, that started at 11:30 at night. So I mean,
yeah, I didn't get over till 2, and the house was packed. Like we could have stayed for the death match, but we decided, you know what, we're good, and we left.
we had driven 8 hours to get there. Bucket stop to like, you know, drop our bags off. Booked over to the arena, found out we had a few minutes, ran and got some Burger King, came back to the arena, scarfed down our Burger King, watched this wrestling show. Neither of us would have made it through that. We were already dozing off. Cozumel, Honduras,
starting
and
before
Belize.
midnight is all right, but like starting after midnight is just obnoxious.
You ever done a late night show, Austin?
I have not, and I hope I never have to. I like to wrestle before like 10:30 p.m. at the latest, because I'm old. I mean, like not super old, but
there's
I ain't about staying up
like us.
There's a little salt and pepper in there, man. It's I get
getting a little gray. Yeah, like Triple L usually ends by 11. That's like the latest show I ever work, and that's
like
as
on the
late
dot,
as it could be.
The one we went to was like 11 on the dot.
they're high and tight, man. They are very much
I like
it. They do a good job of keeping that right. It's like the Tony Khan, man. Like 3 hours 45 for all his.
Mm-hmm.
Triple L, 8 to 11. It's what you get. It's what you pay for.
Highly recommend
worth the money. Go see Triple L, ladies and gentlemen.
Highly recommend.
Worth the drive, the flight, whatever. You got experience at least once in your life. Go to a Triple L show. Best show I've ever been to.
It's the next one's about 2 months out. It's October 11th. Fall is a great time to be in Denver. You got 2 months to save up, plan all that, book your tickets early, save a little money, whatever you got to do. Take a trip to Denver in the fall. Hit Triple L on Friday night. Go into the mountains. See an elk. There's lots of cool shit to do. So go out there. That's my pitch for Denver.
Go get some Bojo's Pizza. I mean, shit, you're talking October. You can go to the Avalanche game probably. I mean, because that'll be hockey season now. I mean,
I think hockey season starts late October, though, doesn't it?
Dude, people in Denver love the Avalanche.
Oh, I know.
They do.
Like we were there.
It's
like, I remember
because they don't have a football team.
True. I mean, well, baseball either. I mean, shit, we got like ridiculously good seats for nothing when we went to go see the Rockies. That was a cool stadium, though. I did enjoy it.
Dude, it's one of the best stadiums in sports.
It's so cool, you know. I mean, but I remember, so in college we had done for alternative spring break one year. Me and my buddy, Mikey, you know Mikey, Jamie. We didn't have the money to go down to Florida, Caribbean, any of that jazz, Cancun, right? So we were like, hey, we're just gonna do a long weekend visiting our buddy who graduated the year before, who was living in Denver. So we went out there and visited him, did a long weekend, right? We did the whole thing. Well, while we were there, it was spring break, so it was during March Madness, and that was the year that Mizzou was in the Elite Eight. So we go out. It's when they lost to Oklahoma because somebody can't shoot free throws. Fucking stupid. But we go to a bar. We figure easy. We'll just go to this sports bar that's over my buddy's house, right? We had to like ask like 18 times for the Elite Eight, which is a pretty big thing, right? Whether it's your team or not, you go to a sports bar at the end of March, they're going to have basketball on the thing, right? Because it's...
You would think.
No, there was an Avalanche game going on at the same time, and we were the only 3 people in that bar who didn't care about the Avalanche and wanted to watch NCAA March Madness, right? During March. Go figure. But no. Anyway, Triple L, well worth it. We got off on wild tangents. You see?
You sure did.
Well, anyway. So what's been going on? You guys been I have not been staying up with the Fed in the past couple weeks, not gonna lie.
I'm pretty good.
I have found myself on Monday nights, like,
you back in it?
Better to do but to check in on Raw. And I've realized, since I seem to have fallen into a habit, and it's never intentional. I'll put something on Hulu while I'm sitting in here playing around on my guitar. And then, like, what else am I going to put on Monday night? Like, because I want something I don't got to really pay attention to. Monday Night Raw. They are... I'm going to try and look at it as positively as possible, because they still do the things that they're going to do.
Yeah, they still fed.
They are better. They're still not what I would call, like, great, but watchable for sure.
I think that's a very well said statement on them, because we grew up in the Attitude Era, so our
standards
level of wrestling is a bit higher than what it is today. It's more theatrical today and more storyline driven, not necessarily wrestling driven, which back then was a perfect mix. I still believe the Ruthless Aggression era and Attitude Era, both of them together, were the perfect balance of everything. It was just top tier, right? And I feel like they're starting to get back to that on Raw. They've already been doing that on SmackDown. SmackDown is a superior show. Roman Reigns showed up, and like, he has the most watches on Twitter or X or whatever for WWE history, like, already. Like, in an hour, he had almost 9 million views, something crazy, something insane. But it is very entertaining right now, and what they're doing with, like, Liv, Dom, and Rhea and Damien's great. The fact that they might call the new Judgment Day street trash, I find that to be absolutely hilarious.
Fantastic.
And they did Braun Breaker right and really made him look like a top guy on Monday. That's all I gotta say. Like, they made him look like he is gonna main event a WrestleMania in the next 3 years.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that makes it watchable now, despite the WWE isms that will never go away, like, I could do without ever hearing someone cut a promo where they say, I'm going to be the most dominant force in WWE. Like, everyone cuts their promo about how they're going to be the most dominant thing in WWE. And it's almost like they've got a hat full of promo ideas and there's a limited number. And each week, whoever's got a mic just draws one out and they're like, here's our line. All that to say, I think what they are doing really well, the roster is more interesting than it's been in years. It seems like there's more new faces, even though some that might have come up through NXT or that we're familiar with. I feel like it's not the same people we've seen at the top of the card, in the middle of the card, jobbing out every single week for what seems like an eternity prior to this. So that's what's made it watchable. There's some new faces. There's some interesting folks to watch.
And, you know, rumor has it that I mean, we've long suspected Ricky Starks is going to eventually go to WWE as soon as he can, right? You know,
Oh,
but
yeah.
now they're
built for
saying
it.
that Daniel Garcia they're making a play for him as well. We've already talked about the Machine Guns, right? Joe Hendry had his own section on Netflix. You know, I mean, or whatever it was, you know, recently. He is going to be a megastar in there. I mean, they are talent-wise. I feel like Triple H is finally getting his hands into like the clay that he wants to do talent-wise, right? Because yes, he is still a WWE guy, right? We talked about this when Vince was finally shown the fucking door, right? Austin's like, it's baby Vince. It's still the guy that learned from Vince, right? But Triple H, if you ever hear any interview or hear him talk, he is very knowledgeable on wrestling in general, right? Japanese wrestling. He knows this shit, right? So I feel like he's starting to finally get the clay he wants to mold. So that has a big impact.
Did y'all see, and I don't know if this came from someone with actual sources or just one of those memes that spreads the internet and you see it and you don't actually check into it. But did y'all see the story about them looking into potentially going back to WWF?
No.
That was floating around Twitter a few days ago or late last week, one or the other. And again, I don't know. I can't remember who I saw it from. So I don't know if it came from like a Sean Ross Sapp or someone that typically hears about these kind of things, or if it was just complete bullshit. But I think that would get me watching more regularly as well. Like that would just seem like a big shift. Is just going back to WWF.
So what's the World Wildlife Foundation going to do? Because they fought forever to get it.
I say they partner with the World Wildlife Foundation. Save some fucking pandas and go back to your roots. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
I feel like that's one of those internet things that just got somebody just put. I'm just looking at it from like the business standpoint. They've made billions of dollars with that E on the end, and it's now ingrained in. I don't know. I feel like it's boom. It's stuck.
Counterpoint. I get what you're saying though. I'm not saying I disagree, but counterpoint. Just play devil's advocate. One, they are no longer their own publicly traded company, so they don't have the WB stock ticker anymore. Now they're under TKO. And two, giant ass corporate brands love to bring back retro shit after a while.
That's
just
true.
like
That's a good point.
Movie studios, they make another Ghostbusters or another Mad Max every few years because people love nostalgia.
Beetlejuice is getting ready to hit. So there you go.
I was gonna say Alien Romulus, but that looks badass.
Okay, so I'm going to see Alien Romulus. I think not this weekend because we're moving Megan, but next weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one. That one looks really good. But no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I don't think I've seen any Aliens after the first one and Alien versus Predator. I saw.
You never saw Aliens, the second one?
No, I don't think so.
With Bill Paxton, game over, man.
Probably.
Game over.
I mean, I probably saw it when I was a kid or something, but like as an adult, from what I can remember, I think I've only watched the first one. Alien vs Predator, which was rad.
Alien 2, you gotta watch at least Aliens.
You gotta watch Alien,
so
Alien, and then after that you're good. Like
after that, it's like
you're fine.
Yeah, if you want to watch some of them, fine. Personally, I like Prometheus.
Was not terrible.
I was gonna say I like Prometheus. And I thought that they were setting up for a good sequel, and they were not. They were not.
Well, they were until they ripped up the script because they felt it was not, what did they say, not entertaining enough, and because it was very horror themed. It's like that's what they did with Romulus, and look what Romulus is like. It's crushing it with the critics, which is, I know, a slippery slope, but I'm in. Like everybody I've seen that I watch that talks about those movies, you know, they really like it. So it's like, okay, I appreciate you.
You guys let us know what you think. WWF, yay, nay, don't care. What are you sad about Ricky Starks for? That he's leaving, that he's not going to be in AEW, Rob? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, I get it.
I can understand.
much better over there.
I mean, I think that this is something that we spent quite a few weeks a while back talking about this. I think it was on the ascent of when when both Hanger and Swerve were on their ascent, right? Too many big names in the singular spot, right? Who are you going to have? And Ricky Starks is one of those, right? He's not really a mid-card guy in AEW, but he's not actually a headliner. So he's kind of he could fit the mid-card in WWE. Perfect. Right?
Absolutely.
In AEW, he's kind of, where does he fit? So I think that there's some people who'd benefit more from stuff like that, right? Just like I feel like I like seeing some of the people come over from WWE, like Christian, like Edge, like this, who don't need to be on the top spot, but are recognizable faces to be that kind of grounding force. So,
yeah.
And I think in AEW, to truly be a top guy, you have to be capable of a certain kind of match. Like the more super indie style. It doesn't have to be a super spot fest or a total spot fest, if you will.
Hey.
But I do think there's a certain kind of match you got to be able to go out there and have. And it's not as much that Ricky Starks isn't necessarily capable of that because he's as talented as you could want to be. That's just not his style. He's just much better suited for what WWE does. And I think he'll kill it over there.
I do too. I really do. So here's the thing. And Rob hit a nerve with me of, I wish he had been utilized better. I wish they've done that with like half their roster. If you really want to get really fine, where's Miro? Like that guy should be world champion. He should have been pushed to the moon and back, especially when he came over as hot as he was when he came over. Like, yeah, now he's just doing whatever. Malachi Black should have pushed that dude to the moon and back. Now he's just doing his trios thing, which I understand he's happy and he's doing what he wants to do. But
hey, really quick on him, I think it's an injury issue. I think his back is just fucked, and he can get through that's why he like almost never wrestles singles. If he does, it's a gimmick match because he can get through those tags. But I think he's got back problems and he's just not been 100% since he's been there.
I can empathize with that. I mean, there's been a lot of those. Miro, that's what happened to Miro. He had really bad health issues. Plus, his life kind of fell apart a little bit, right? Got divorced. He's had all this Hollywood stuff. He had to move back to Bulgaria for like the last year and a half because family issues and shit. So, I mean, shit happens. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Did we ever hear of Miro getting released, though? I think
he's not released. He's still with them.
Yeah, he's still getting a paycheck to go live his best life.
Right. Well, I mean, you say live his best life. Like I said, he has some family tragedies that I don't know the details of. But yeah, basically, he's getting paid not to be there, which, yes, please.
He was getting that at WWE too. Like, I don't know. I feel like they've missed the boat on a few people. And honestly, the tag team that's getting ready to leave and go to WWE as well, I feel like they kind of missed the boat on them too. I know Ray got injured a lot, so that's probably why. But like, still, they're one of the best tag teams.
I don't know what else you do with the Lucha Brothers though. Like they've had the titles, they've had some awesome matches. They've been in like half the ladder matches between the two of them you've ever had in the company. I think they've kind of tapped out on AEW. I wouldn't mind seeing them go getting a run in WWE and then coming back in a few years.
See, the problem, and Lucha Brothers is one of my favorite tag teams, period, right? The problem AEW has with the Lucha Brothers is Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks is one of like the quintessential feuds of this generation of wrestling, really. It's spawned over multiple promotions over the past 10 years or so, right? It's been that good. Outside of that, though, they don't have any other storyline they really do with the Lucha Bros, right? They try to make some stuff, but they never put them in a feud with anybody else, right? They've never really, it's just, if they get over the hurdle, they beat the Young Bucks, like we saw happen live, right? What'd they do after that? Just kind of like Yeah, they're champs. So, I mean, you could feud them with FTR. You could feud them with, some young team. You can turn them heel,
And that's the thing with Lucha Brothers is neither of them are talkers. And I know you gave them a mouthpiece, but like not the most interesting one in the world. So it kind of got to the point where like, yeah, we just want to see him do cool flippy moves and have dope matches. And then we got years and years and years of rad Lucha Brothers and singles matches with the two of them. And just kind of like I say, just kind of we've seen what there is to offer from them in AEW. And it's been great, so no complaints, but yeah, let them go somewhere else for a little while. I think they end up back in a few years and we get a nice nostalgia run from them and it'll be great. But yeah, it'll be nice to see him a change of scenery.
Good point. Good point.
Interesting. Well,
it's sad though.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, here's the thing: is that there's so many people that they have, though. I don't think it's a bad thing, in the least bit, on any front. Right?
Some people are saying this is the biggest fumble of Tony Khan's life. I'm like, dude,
the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, like missing this boat. And it's like, I don't know.
First of all,
I think.
No, you guys don't know this here. This looks like a very nice, X chair. It's actually a high horse, and I'm just gonna get on it real fast here, because Lucha Brothers.
Get after it, Ray Gun.
Let's just settle in here. I mean, I got the Western going on. I gotta stay with it. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm a sucker for spots, big spots. I love lucha wrestling, all this stuff, right? Lucha Brothers, we just talked about, right? They've been, in this long feud, this kind of overarching feud. Let's be completely honest here. And as a Lucha Brothers fanboy, I will tell you this: they are not spring chickens, folks. Especially Penta. Hey, they've been around a little bit, So, greatest fumble of their lifetime. Again, to Austin's point, it's not like they were never held off of TV other than being injured, right? And some visa issues here and there, right? They were never prohibited from being on TV. They were given plenty of opportunities. Everybody loved them everywhere they went, right? Multiple time champions. They were tag champions. They were, trios champions. Ray won the international title, What more could there have been done, And like I said,
it's one of the best matches in AEW history.
It's one of the best live matches I've ever seen in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
Like they had a great run. One of the things that annoys me more than anything else on the wrestling internet is people talking about fumbles. There are very few actual fumbles.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of is WWE not knowing what to do with Swerve Strickland. Outside of that, I don't think there's much you could truly call a fumble. So let's cool it on that, because Lucha Brothers were certainly not fumbled by AEW. They were treated well for a good long run, and good for them to go and make money elsewhere.
I don't get it, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I just happened to put a little poll out there to see what people are thinking about the Lucha Brothers. Is it time for them to go? The state of tag team wrestling in AEW is changed immensely. Like, basically, it's just a 3-horse race now. That's it. And everybody else is just side characters, Like, one of them's Elektra, one of them's Gambit, one of them's an old aging Blade, that kind of stuff.
Dropping spoilers on them now.
Hey, I mean, it's all over the internet.
It's been a couple weeks.
It's been out for a while.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it yet in theaters. It's mostly been spoiled.
So
and I'm like, whatever.
So good, dude.
I know. I gotta motivate him to leave my house. It's tough. Anyway.
Yeah, you gotta get out of that hermit life.
So comfortable.
But no, like I, in my heart of hearts, believe that this is not a big miss. I think it is time. I think it sucks for me because I love them, and they're one of the few that are outside of my technical wrestling Japanese strong style that I really truly enjoy. And it just makes my heart hurt a little bit that they're going to go, but I know they're going to be successful over there. They're going to get their bag and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just cool that, like, it's a time in pro wrestling again where people can do that. Like,
Absolutely.
you can just, there's more than one option and people can get paid.
Couldn't say
Yeah,
that.
Although
everybody
I would
else,
like to
what you
see,
think?
I would like to see either company pay some attention towards tag team wrestling because it's rough everywhere right now.
I mean, there's been flashes in AEW's history. Like early AEW was heavy on the tag teams, and it was really good, right?
So great.
And then it dipped, and then FTR came in, and it got better, and then they were back at it again with tag teams, you know. And then now it's dipped again. So it's kind of like the AEW women's division, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, right? You know, it's like I would like to, you know, echo and piggyback a little bit here, Austin. I just want to see consistent good booking with the tag team division is what I'd like to see.
Yeah, and they certainly have enough talent, especially with the teams they have on Ring of Honor as well. They might have more established teams on Ring of Honor than they do on AEW
Oh,
proper.
yeah.
So, like, combine their divisions, have one big tag division, and give us some dope ass tag team matches because you have the talent for it. We've seen it.
Yeah, you got what? The Infantry, Iron Savages,
Workhorsemen.
Workhorsemen.
Top Flight's getting most of their stuff right now on
Yeah, Top Flight. You have
RH.
Tony Nese and Josh Woods are tagging, I
the
believe.
premier athletes.
Premier athletes, yes.
Did we already say the Outrunners?
Oh,
No,
they are, oh my God.
I love them, man.
Yes, I am a huge Outrunners guy. Have you seen their latest video that AEW did for them on the Twitters?
I haven't.
Gold.
All
It
right,
is
I'm gonna check it out after the show.
gold. 1984 called, and they want their gimmicks back. And actually, they called again and said, no, you know what? You all deserve this. That's where we are, dude. Like, this thing is absolutely amazing.
Oh, I love you.
So good.
Yeah. They've got so many good teams. You don't have to have a full division featured on Dynamite every week. Do like they did back in the day, like in the late 80s, early 90s, where you had your champs, a new team would pop out of nowhere, run a little cycle with them. Whoever lost kind of disappears for a while. Another team steps in. Like, you really only have to have two teams feuding at a time. You could heat up another tag team because you've got plenty of talented ones. Just do something with the titles. Tonight was the first time the Bucks have defended those titles since they won them months ago. They've literally just been sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, but that also, in fairness, that goes with storyline with those guys.
It does.
It does, but I mean, they could still be beating some of your Ring of Honor teams. Like, they could still be wrestling and defending them every once in a while. Especially, I think it goes with the storyline for them to come out saying, because they're such generous EVPs, they're giving shots to the overlooked teams, and they keep beating like these lower tier teams you have in 5 minutes every couple weeks.
I don't hate that.
I dig it.
I don't hate that. All right, that's a good transition. Let's get into Dynamite then.
I am all for it, gentlemen, because actually, you know what? Before we get into Dynamite, I have one last thing I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Tony Khan said that we are going to have multiple amazing announcements that are going to forever change AEW forever.
You know, there's an
So I ask both of you, any guesses on what that may be?
There's an old fable I remember when I was a child about a young boy claiming he saw a wolf. And let's be real. Tony Khan's amazing, massive, life-changing announcements, at least half the time, are that. So I feel like, because we're in the third quarter right now.
Yep.
I feel like we're gonna get a streaming announcement. I think there's gonna be some bullshit, but I think there's gonna be a streaming announcement. And that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, quick aside, since you mentioned wolves, remember when MJF started calling himself the Wolf of Wrestling for like 2 weeks and nobody gave a shit?
You know, I bought that t-shirt.
Right, going back to Jamie's question, one of those announcements was likely spoiled on the internet earlier today. And if you didn't see it, since it's not a massive spoiler, the rumor is AEW is announcing a stadium show in Australia for sometime in 2025, which is a big deal, worthy of a Tony Khan announcement for sure. But like JJ said, I would imagine the other is they've come to a deal with Warner Brothers, and we're going to get older episodes of Dynamite and pay-per-view streaming on Max.
So I'm a combination of both of you.
Okay.
I feel like we
stream in
are
Australia.
officially going to enter into the PLE era of AEW. I feel like they are on the verge of the multi-year deal with Warner Brothers. Everybody said that, like, and they are going to get paid. So I could see either Collision or Rampage moving to like True TV or something like that, being on many of the Warner things, and then being on Max, and then all live pay-per-views now will be on Max for just an extra $6 more. And people will pay the shit out of that.
I think that's coming eventually. I don't know if that's coming soon. I remember seeing a report a while back that Max still had some ways to go before they could stream live. Because that's like different than just having the libraries and all that. There's, I guess, stuff they have to do to their service to be able to like competently do that. But I do think we'll eventually get there. All these giant media companies, like, they need live programming as much as possible. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get a much lesser, obviously, but similar deal to what WWE had with Peacock and then up with Netflix and all that, where everything's going streaming.
Yeah. Well, it's going streaming, but it's also going, I mean, you saw like the bidding wars everybody did for the NBA rights recently, you know? And because you're right, they want to have live along with it, you know? And, you know, if the way that they keep raising all their prices, you know, they've got to justify it, because at some point in time, people will stop paying for it, you know? As much as you love Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, having 17 different ones of them, right? You know? Some point in time, you gotta be like, fuck this. I spend like $300 a month on TV. No. What? You don't have shit I watch live. Fuck you. You're out, right? So they gotta justify it at some point in time.
This is I would put it at a 0.01% chance. But I do know TNT announced they were going to try and keep the Inside the NBA crew together for a show after the NBA leaves.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Inside the NBA show or crew do the pre-Dynamite show.
Oh my God.
That would Chuck and Shaq
talking about wrestling. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I would watch every single week.
Yeah, the Hangman Page is crazy, man. This is crazy. Yeah. The Charles Barkley like, man, Sammy Guevara's terrible. He's just terrible.
I'm just saying, you can't do one Spanish Fly in a match. What are you doing, you know?
I would pay whatever they charge for Max to get that.
Please.
All right, let's get to Dynamite.
Gentlemen. And this one was a go home to a go home. That's kind of the way I felt like. They were connecting a lot of dots, but the dots that they were connecting, gentlemen, we foretold on this show. And when I say we, it wasn't just me, it wasn't just JJ, it wasn't just Austin. Literally all three of us, boom, 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 hit nails on heads. Now, if we're gonna say who hit more nails on heads, like, you know, if we want to get into that, then we'd have to look at one Mr. Austin Reddick, because he kind of crushed a few of them. So he deserves his flowers, ladies and gentlemen, because
you're getting to stand up for a little longer, Austin. Because yes.
Yeah. we all hit it, but he nailed it. If you know what I'm saying. So let's just go ahead and start at the top, gentlemen. And we got the ace of the women's division. I really like that new moniker of hers, Hikaru Shida. I like how she is doing the Yakuza look a lot. I think that really suits her. Going up against Mercedes Moné. And gentlemen, it was a 15-minute match. It felt pacing-wise like a WWE match.
It kind of did.
That's fair.
It's nice to have a women's match open Dynamite. We've only gotten that a handful of times, right?
Yes.
Like, we've had more women's match finish Dynamite than we've had open it. So, while we didn't get 2 matches tonight, Tony finally broke his streak. Shame on you, Tony. It was interesting. It was nice to have that. I didn't think it was that it was a WWE kind of paced match, you know? I thought it was good overall. I thought it was good to see Shida on TV for getting a good amount of time on TV. I don't think that Mercedes looked bad at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm fine with it. Yeah,
it was a solid opener. It was nice to see the women's division kick off the show and get a longer title match. I liked title matches on TV in general, and especially starting your show with one. It makes it seem like a big deal. The one thing I did not care for in the match itself, because we'll talk about the post-match shortly. Does Mercedes Moné have the dumbest finisher in pro wrestling?
I don't like her finisher at all.
She ever hit that clean?
Depending on the opponent, she can. She did in Japan. She hit on Kairi really clean when she was in Japan.
Yeah.
But that's not something you can take somebody who's your size or bigger if you're not like, you know, and hit it clean. That's a tough move. It's a tough move to do in general, right? I mean, you're the wrestler.
No, absolutely. Like
spin him around and do a kick.
When the timing on it's not there, it just looks kind of dumb. Like it looks like she's kind of trying to catch him in a DDT, but sometimes her hand's just on the top of their head, and sometimes I think tonight Shida hit like a split second before Mercedes did. Like why are you doing that complicated of a finisher when you could do literally anything and it would be perfectly fine?
I mean,
she does other shit really well.
Right.
Her Meteora looks great. She did it like 8 times.
I mean, she could do a variation of the Meteora. Her, I don't know what she calls it now, but the bank statement, I guess she's calling it the money statement or whatever it is, you know. But that kind of back roll up into like that neck stretch or whatever it is, that always looked great. And I thought it was her best finisher in WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's a dope submission, and you can use that all the time. Also, you're a heel. You can not hit a move and pin them. You could cheat to pin them, whatever. When you don't use your submission, if you don't want to make someone tap out, but man, that thing just never looks good.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. It's better in Heat Seeker though, guys.
I like that move.
I hate it.
What if she starts doing the Heat Seeker?
I wish you'd be getting some serious heat from me.
It would be an improvement. It would be an improvement.
It probably would.
Well, we're all in agreement.
All right. So after the match, Britt's music hits. Obviously, Mercedes wins due to Camille Brickhouse interference, but it's fine. So Britt's music hits, and there is a person off to the side wearing a Sting mask who Camille just beats the holy shit out of. And come to find out, it's not Britt, guys. It's probably just some random jobber. And Britt comes in the back, and she is putting on her glove forever. And even Mercedes looks at her, looks back, looks at her, looks back, and then they finally start going at it. It was not good. So, gentlemen, I ask you, 1, how you feel about that, and 2, are you excited about that match?
Nice.
I don't know if I can answer your poll because I'm not quite I don't care, brother, because like I'm interested in the match itself, but like the build has done nothing for me.
So it's not necessarily it doesn't work for you, brother.
I don't know who this build is working for, brother.
Yeah, I'm just gonna echo all that. I feel like they had such a good moment with Britt when she first came back. She opened up her heart. Cool, great. But then there's stuff like this, and it's, I mean, for one, why stay with the glove gimmick? Can we just get away from the glove gimmick, right? You're coming in, you're coming into the ring to attack the person you hate, right? Why are you stopping to put on a glove anyway so you can perform your submission finisher on them? Like, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm going to jump attack somebody, I'm not going to be like, all right, I'm going to get up behind them, I'm going to sneak up on them, I'm going to get them, and then I'm going to carefully place them down and get him into a sharpshooter for 3 to 5. No, you're going to just, boom, punch in the face, boom, right?
And on the other side of that, if I'm standing in the ring with a literal weapon and I'm watching the person that came out to jump me spend 5 minutes putting on their glove, I'm just going to go hit him with the fucking stick.
Hey, this is my opportunity to hit you with the stick.
Novel concept. I got this. You got a glove. I think I got the advantage here, guys.
It was
again,
just
your logic has no bounds.
If this was timed better, this could have been a hot little angle at the end of the show or at the end of the first match.
Yep.
But not even the time on the apron. It took forever for Britt to get to the ring in the first place. So like Mercedes is staring at the entrance ramp forever. Like, hey, this is pro wrestling. Like after all, you should probably turn around because like they ain't coming down the ramp. But if they would have just tightened up the timing on all of this, like it would have been a perfectly fine little story beat and their build to all in. But yeah, this just,
I feel like, Jamie, that's kind of the theme for this entire build for this feud. Is that the timing? Everything's been timed ever since that first promo with Britt. Everything's been timed awkwardly, right?
Yeah, it just feels discombobulated. Like they just want to throw two of their top people at each other and not necessarily develop it. Like it just feels weird. That's probably the best way I could describe it. And Heather hits a nail once again on the head. More interested in the Britt build up with MJF, like with that whole suspension thing, and yeah, like whatever. So actually, time to ask a wrestler. Ask a wrestler.
Dun. Funny.
I feel like there is a code when it comes to talking in the locker room. I feel like it's like Vegas. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes, but not exclusively. Like it kind of depends on what's getting said. I feel like if the women's roster is complaining that one men's match got an hour and they're getting like 8 minutes on the night or something, like clearly they are just venting. And that doesn't mean that MJF versus Ospreay for an hour isn't better for your TV show because people love that match and it was fine. But you got to understand, like, yeah, they're just venting because they're losing time so this one match can go an hour. I think going and complaining to your boyfriend who was in the match that they're all talking shit is pretty fucking weak. So I actually don't fault Britt for telling Alicia Tao to get out of the fucking locker room.
Well, and Alicia Tao, well, I don't have any problem with her in general. I actually rather like her commentary and stuff like that. She is literally nothing more than a wrestling commentator at best. The interviewer and commentator.
Yeah. I also think
you don't get a say. You don't even work for AEW. You don't get a say in this stuff, right?
Yeah. And on the other side of that, if I was one of the two gentlemen in that hour-long match, and my girlfriend was like, "Hey, I'm in the locker room, and the women are complaining that y'all got a whole hour. They didn't have 5 minutes." I'm certainly not going to get all fucking butthurt about it and go confront somebody. Because I just got to wrestle Will Ospreay for an hour on national TV. What do I give a shit?
Yeah, I don't get what happened. Like Will Ospreay even talked to her, and they were cool about it. He got it. He's like, yeah, I get it. Like everybody says, like he was sympathetic to her.
Yeah, Like,
I generally think that it's not really. I don't think it's. Here's my take. And say for some of the Punk stuff, because Punk is Punk, and he realized the same thing that I'm going to say right now, is that nothing's different in the back locker room than happens in WWE or anybody else, right? The difference is the access to and the control of that, right? WWE shit happens probably much more than any of us would ever assume it does. Probably even to an exponential level, right? But it's such a big machine and there's so many checks and balances in place. It's handled, it's mitigated, and it's never brought forth to the public. Whereas AEW, you don't have all that. So stuff comes out and it leaks and there's this and someone said this and they hate each other and there's all this drama. Well, there's always going to be drama in a locker room, especially when you have men and women who are both vying for valuable TV time. It happens. I don't think it's a big deal.
This didn't end up seeming like too big of a story anyway. Britt got suspended for a week, apparently, in the middle of a build that's kind of floundering anyway, and we're just waiting on the match. She could have been suspended until All In, and who gives a shit? Like, let's get him in the ring. I'm interested in the match. I don't care if you give Britt Baker a few weeks off in between.
Forbode her from touching Mercedes Moné until they're in Wembley.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go ahead and end this poll. We had 4 votes. We had 75% of our votes were I don't care, brother. And 1 hell yeah, brother. No, it doesn't work for me, brothers. Which I'm happy
Somebody's
for.
sad for it.
Yeah.
Good for them. All right. So let's talk about hate crime. It's close.
Yeah, hate crime. There's attempted murder. I mean, tonight, really, if you break it down, there's some shit
happened in front of our eyes, gentlemen.
There's some shit.
Hangman tried to kill Jay Lethal, and I think he was damn near successful.
You're pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
I mean,
seriously.
Especially if the match started off with 5 consecutive tope suicidas, which was amazing. To go 180, yeah.
This is just like kind of the bitter old wrestler in me, because I love both these guys and I enjoyed the shit out of the match. The 5 tope suicidas and then immediately get dead-eyed on the apron afterwards was kind of strange to me. Like, it was cool to see, but it's like, dude, you just hurled your body weight from the ring into him 5 times. As soon as you got on the apron, he just picked your ass up and killed you. But I will fully admit, I am absolutely nobody to tell Jay Lethal or Hangman Page how to wrestle.
I mean, my takeaway, Jamie, is just I am loving the way that they're going with the Hangman arc so well. And even though you don't want him muddling up, because he's always going to be focused on Swerve, right? Everything's apparent that's what it is, but he doesn't have to be front and center, you know? They had this whole Jeff Jangle trope, group side thing going on. It's great. I love it. Except for the, hate crime. But other than that, yeah, it's fine.
It definitely felt like hate crime, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I watched it like, Jesus. So after this, there were some highlights from Rev Pro where MJF defended his AEW American Championship against
Did you see what he was wearing, too? Did you see what he was wearing?
Yes. You tell everybody.
I was Austin, because Austin's the one. No, he went out in full gold and red, ladies and gentlemen, with the American flag. Yes, he pulled out the Hulk Hogan. Not for us in Wembley, but in Rev Pro, he sure as shit did.
Told you, man. He was, I am a real American. See, if he could get that, I would be complete. But Michael Oku, so fun fact, there is a lot of talks that Homeboy is going to be getting signed by AEW imminently, if not already.
I've heard that.
Word.
He's pretty damn good. Then you had Pac. Pac called out, Pac, whatever, called out Ospreay or MJF. He wants that American Championship at All Out. So you have your All Out Championship of Will Ospreay versus Pac. Calling it now. You can fight me on it, bet on it. I don't care. It's happening. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
So.
Here we go. Nail on head. If there's going to be one match that's got a stipulation on it, gentlemen, it's going to be
Darby Allin.
Yep.
And Jack Perry. And there is one person who called that.
Who could that be?
The guy looks like he's got bodies buried in his basement right now. No, that's not me, guys. It's not me. No. It is one Austin Reddick, ladies and gentlemen.
To be fair, I believe Big Rob might have mentioned that in chat last week as well. Rob, chime in if I'm wrong on that, but I feel like you might have said that around the same time that Jack Perry and Darby would probably have a stipulation. So someone in chat, pretty sure it was Big Rob, also mentioned that. But yes, that seemed like a layup. If you're gonna have a gimmick match, put your king of gimmick matches in it. It's like when you had Foley in the Attitude Era. If you need someone to get thrown off something, there's your guy. Go with the best.
Fun fact: after all in here in 2024, every match that Darby Allin has had inside of Wembley Stadium will have been a coffin match.
Can we take a moment to remember?
It was.
Can we take a moment to remember the glorious moment last year when Swerve needed a partner for the coffin match and Brian Cage was standing right there? They had literally just he was like, "I'm picking Christian Cage."
Yes. Like immediately after he just had Brian Cage come out and like decimate somebody for him.
Beat up Darby as well.
Yes, it was like literally 5 minutes earlier. And it's like, I'm picking him. Get out of the way. That guy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my pick right now. Brian Cage. Go tell Christian he's my partner.
And other 80s tropes coming to you soon. Jack Perry did try to murder.
It's like half baked. It's half baked. Fuck you.
Fuck you. You're cool.
Fuck you, I'm out.
Yes. Jack Perry did try to also murder Darby Allin on live television, which was good and fun, right? Gets him stuck in the little the door.
Yeah.
Which and I love how even was it Tony? One of them comments about we've seen these doors cause havoc before. I go, really? A roll up garage door? Can we just relax for a second here? But anyway, gets him stuck in there, and then he gets one of those big roadie cases, and he's gonna literally just mash his head into the fucking wall. I'm like, good.
And for the first time in pro wrestling history, the backstage security actually stopped somebody.
Yeah, effectively too.
Those are the real MVPs of the night. I'm excited for that coffin match.
I am. I wonder if there's gonna be real glass guys.
I hope the coffin lid is glass, so you got to put someone through it. I wouldn't mind seeing some kind of spin or take on the coffin match where that thing's gimmicked up with something more dangerous. Really dangerous because
I have a streaking suspicion that Jack Perry is going to end up in that coffin and then it's going to be set ablaze. Just saying. They've been using fire the whole time since this whole rivalry restarted. So
I agree, but I think Darby ends up in the flaming coffin.
Someone's getting burned. I know that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Jack because Jack just got that title. It's gonna be Darby.
I would like to see, and this will be hard to do it at Wembley because you're outdoors, so you don't have as much room for the magic of theatrics and stage production. I would like to see them do the 1994 Royal Rumble Undertaker gimmick where Darby gets set ablaze in the casket, and then we just see a ghost Darby floating up into the heavens.
Makes me think of Tom and Jerry.
Tony, if you're watching, just copy more
yes.
1994 WWF.
Yes. Before they got the F out. Hopefully everybody appreciated that from the poll. For those old school people, right when they turned to WWE, they were get the F out. That was the whole thing.
Hey, I would like to see, and maybe they could do a tie-in because they're releasing a new The Crow movie imminently.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a tie-in, and I want to see Jack Perry come out in Crow Sting face paint just to fuck with Darby.
Fuck that movie. I'm anti new Crow movie. I just.
Why do you need to remake that?
Yeah, it's one of my. You don't. It's one of my favorite movies.
You do better?
If you're going to remake it, you literally just copy it. And even then, it's not going to be nearly as good as the original, but yeah, it might have some more updated music. By the way, the soundtrack on that thing fucks. Okay?
The original? Oh,
yes. Yes. It's like like mid-90s post-grunge.
You had, okay, I have this thing almost memorized. You had Big Empty by Stone Temple Pilots. Mm-hmm. You had Burned by The Cure. You had... you had a song by 9 Inch Nails. I can't think of the name of it, but I really like that one. Dude, that whole thing, top to bottom, was just magnificent.
The epitome of like post Nirvana alternative 90s.
Yeah, industrial. Yeah,
right.
It was really kick ass.
And there's also something about the time, like how gritty that movie looks.
Touche, Heather. Touche.
That like you cannot top the way that was filmed at the time. Like, I don't think that story looks good with modern cinematography and just better cameras and stuff. Like, it's got to look like a little low budget because, like, that was part of the charm of it.
And by the way, how much did it fucking rain in that city? It literally rained for like 3/4 of the movie minimum.
Just like 7
all the time.
Not all the time. When the moment he died, like when it was all over, it stopped raining. That was the whole thing.
I know.
So
it's a storytelling.
It can't rain all the time.
It can't rain all the
time.
time.
I say that all the time. He only works if there's water.
I love that movie on so many fronts, man. God. Anyway.
I say I'm dead and I move. Like, dude, I can quote this shit out of that movie. I love that movie.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Back to wrestling.
So, yeah, back to damn it. So let's talk about a women's match. I am very, very, very excited to see. And this is the Mariah May versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship match. And we had a debuting new movie from Miss Mariah May. And then after that, we had a surprise interview with Mina Shirakawa returning back to AEW looking as gorgeous as ever and speaking very great English as well.
Now, I'm no cinemaphile, or cinephile, like you are, Jamie.
Yes.
I would classify that as a movie. Okay. That was straight up a video promo is all that was. But I understand the whole shtick in it. Does the presence of Mina Shirakawa make either of you guys think that Jamie Hayter is not going to be involved in this? Because obviously there's going to be some sort of Mina angle if there's any sort of extracurriculars, right? Maybe somebody else that maybe Mina cross paths with might be involved. Potentially. Maybe. Who knows? Perhaps. Hopefully.
She's hurt if you're thinking Thekla.
Oh, she did get hurt. That's right.
Bro, you keep trying to make Thekla happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Not gonna make
I would be sad about it. I don't think Mina's involvement necessarily excludes Hayter showing up after the match.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have to be involved in anything during the match. Just once you've got your champion crowned afterwards, send out the former champion who never lost the belt in her home country, and you're rocking and rolling right there. I would like to see AEW do more of these cinematic style promos. I thought this was Mariah May has been great as long as she's been there, but she seemed like more of a star in this promo than I think she has up to this point.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't feel they're gonna have Hayter involved in this storyline.
After the introduction of Mina Shirakawa, I absolutely do now. Because Mina's gonna side with Mariah, of course. They are going to do a massive beatdown of Tony after they win the belt. And they're just gonna keep going. And then Jamie Hayter's music hits, makes the save in her home country. People go ape shit, and guess what? You have a tag team match for All Out.
Yeah, I could definitely see something like that.
I still say that, but for the other women's match.
I think you kind of need Hayter here. I don't. Yeah. I'll make my prediction on this match early. Mariah May is winning that title. But I don't think Mariah May is the established star yet that can carry the women's division moving on into other programs. And I think having Hayter come out at the end of this to bridge it and to give a new angle to the Toni Storm thing, because like I said, I've been saying for the last few weeks, we need like a little bit of a break from what she's doing, because she's been doing the same thing, doing it well, but for a very long time. Like, let's get something in there to freshen it up. And like Jamie was saying, I think doing a tag match for All Out lets Mariah hold on to that belt a little bit longer. But if Hayter's coming back, that belt's going to Hayter before too long.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just put out a poll. What do you think? Do you think Jamie Hayter is going to be showing up at All In? So everybody,
you
please,
should have done the poll. It's like, do you think Jamie Hayter is going to show up in the women's title or in the TBS title match?
You're the only one trying to make it happen in TBS.
No, it's fucking obvious. I can't believe you guys are even like. I understand.
It's more obvious for the main event.
I don't think it's obvious either way. Like, I would not be surprised. I think it makes more sense for the world title match.
I mean, she's got
That's
ties
the belt
to.
She never lost.
Right. The belt she never lost, but she also has ties to. The only person she really has ties to roster wise is Britt, right? So.
And Tony.
Yeah, but they kind of did the passing of the torch with Britt and Hayter. And Britt's not like really a strong babyface right now. And with the babyface pop Hayter's gonna get, like, I would rather, like, Tony's a super over babyface right now. I would rather see her go out and help her. But yeah, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was at the TBS title match. I just think it makes way more sense for the title Hayter never lost.
As long as we get Hayter for sure, and we're all pretty confident we're getting her. But as long as we get her back, that's all that matters.
Maybe we're all wrong, and she's going to come out and challenge Bryan Danielson after that.
She's in the coffin the whole time. No.
She gets out. She just beats the shit out of both Darby and Jack Perry.
Yes.
Throws them both in there, takes the TNT title.
Lights the thing on fire.
Intergender title right then and there. Kind of cool, actually.
I mean, don't hate it.
All right. So after this, you had a really damn good match.
Match of the night, yo.
You know where I stand on that. Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. And yes, please, I need more of this on my eyeballs. Like, it was.
It's covered two commercial breaks in the middle of the show. Let's go.
Yeah, they got some time.
Oh. And hats off to Mike Bennett for having his sunglasses on when he was doing interference, and then having a top rope flip from Mark Briscoe hit him, land on the ground, and still was wearing his sunglasses and getting hit in the back, and they never came off. Like, hats off. That's either they're glued on or, like, you got amazing head control there, brother. Like, it was good shit. I was impressed.
Yeah. I don't know if there's much else to say about this match. It fucked.
No, I mean, the
winner assumed it was going to.
It was for some stakes. The winner gets the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet, and because of the way it is, you want to be early in the Casino Gauntlet because it could end at any time, even though it won't for at least 10 guys. So OC is going to be number one, first man out. No surprise there, really.
I look forward to it. So you had your face-to-face with the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, and Claudio Castagnoli. And this match is actually not happening at All In like I was expecting. It's happening at Dynamite.
Well, next week's Dynamite's in Norfolk. Is in not Norfolk. They were in Norfolk tonight.
It's in Cardiff.
Cardiff, Wales. It felt like, to your point at the very beginning, Jamie. It felt like next week's almost like the pre-show for All In, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that match. I'm interested to see if Okada ends up being on All In, since he's defending the title next week. But I love this face-off.
So good.
One takeaway from it: I need Okada and Claudio in a buddy cop show of some sort, or like make a new Men in Black movie and make those two your new Men in Black, please. And also. God. Claudio's line at the end, that was something to the effect of, "You got 99 problems and this bitch is one."
Good luck, bitch. Oh, dude, come on.
He starts off like jiggling his titty at him, and it's just like, oh my God. And Claudio is just
it was so good.
Some of the best Claudio's been in a long time, and my God, this match is gonna. I'm with you guys. I'm really surprised they didn't put this on, because this screams pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
But AEW does that. They put the pay-per-view match on TV
maybe
sometimes.
You don't get maybe you don't get a finish next week and they bump it over to the pay-per-view.
Yes, please.
Would not be sad about that in the slightest.
I would be very excited about that. I'm not gonna lie.
So, face off or the following promo, Jamie? Which are you taking?
I
was choosing your favorite child here. Your moment.
I mean, that's like, for me, that's like choosing peanut M&Ms and peanut butter M&Ms. Like, they're both equally delicious.
You mix them together and you eat them both at the same time. That's how you do it.
And for all those, Christian Cage, again, our father, Christian Cage, was absolutely phenomenal as a guest referee, special guest referee. I don't know if everybody saw that or not, where he was doing the 10 count and somebody got up and he speared him and he ended the 10 count. It was some of the best stuff I've ever seen. And I don't know if you saw, his shirt had a turtleneck.
Yes.
God, it's so good.
Right down the middle.
So good.
Right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
It was Buddy Murphy's spirit too, by the way.
So
speaking of being a good father, I had to pick up the wiener dogs at Storming Out, and he started getting scared. So
yeah.
You're watching on video and wondering why there's a small creature in my lap.
No, they don't. Actually, the frame cuts it off, so it looks like
you're stroking your hog there, bro.
It looks like
I'm just real excited about All In, guys.
Oh, Christian Cage, I tell you what, he is. Yeah, my father, 'tis of the. Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah. So, Joey, what did you think of this promo from our father, Christian Cage?
Well, I took away, first of all, that they're going to have the same thing that they had last week. They're going to have this week or next week to determine. Anyway, they're drawing this out. It's going to be a triple threat. Just make it a triple threat, okay? If that's what you're going to do with it. If you've got one of these teams in mind, just put it on there so you can get on the bill. But it's never a bad day to have Christian Cage in a promo, especially where he kicks out the Renee and tells her to leave his set in the middle of it.
So good.
So, I mean, what else can you say? It's Christian Cage. It's fantastic.
I am a bit concerned with it seems like they're leading to a triple threat for the trios titles, but it seems like they're telling a very similar story with the tag titles as well.
Oh, God, yes.
And I'm hoping only one of those becomes a triple threat.
I mean, preferably neither, but
also accurate.
Yes.
But,
so, gentlemen, there was a promo right after that one.
Nope. No, there wasn't.
And I was confused.
I've already blocked it out of my memory.
not only was Hook wearing a eye bandage, not an eye patch, but what else? He showed emotion for the first time. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't feel anything positive about it for sure.
Yeah, like no, like I'm like should I feel sorry for him? Should I be upset that this was on my TV? Like it was more of those types of feelings.
Go ahead.
I wish they would put this on Dynamite from Cardiff and bump Okada and Claudio to the pay-per-view, because I don't want to see this pay-per-view match.
I don't want to see this at all. Like, I was confused, you know, like Hook. I don't even know. It's like, yeah, the eye patch, and you got the hat down. You can barely see. He has barely no eyes, right? He's not looking at the camera when he's doing your promos, which is solid work for a live wrestling TV show. Just solid work. He's not really saying anything. I just don't. And you're giving him all this time on TV.
Yeah, like
people are tepid at best for him. You know, the most excited person in that arena is Tony Schiavone, because he gets to relive his Sting line in a new fashion.
Yeah, like nothing he said was particularly interesting or captivating or made you want to see that match. Like his big line was like, "But this eye works." Well, yeah, man, you ain't got a patch on that one. We assume you can see. You walk down to the ring, like clearly you've got some vision.
Yeah. We as Homo sapiens are born with two optical nervous centers, and you know, if one of them goes out, the other one's still there.
And your hair is always covered in one eye anyway, so like we assumed you got 50% vision at all times. You're probably good to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Send Hook home.
Send Hook home. But yeah, so we get Hook versus Jericho at All In, guys. I'm super excited.
You gotta have a moment in a long pay-per-view to go use the bathroom, make some chicken wings, right? You know.
That is it. That is 100% it. Like 100% it. After this, though, there was a pretty solid match between the Acclaimed and the Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, spoiled. First of all, I love the setup work they did in the middle of the match. Everything with Billy Gunn, with Billy Gunn, you know, and the way they got him thrown out from the ringside, and you know, the Acclaim looks a lot better, I will say. Maybe that's the Bucks doing, but they looked a lot better in this match than they have for a little bit. I will say that.
Yeah, like it was a solid match. I still found it hard to care. Like I enjoyed the match, but the Acclaimed won that title shot like a long time ago, and they've been kind of continuing the story, but just never having a match about it. Yeah, like it was a good match, like perfectly fine use of 20 minutes of my Wednesday night TV. I'm hoping they pivot because they announced afterwards, cut to Christopher Daniels. Hey, we're gonna have the Acclaim versus FTR in Collision. When it'll go to All In. Just give us Bucks FTR at All In. That
Please.
never misses.
It won't miss whatsoever, like at all.
I mean, you could have very easily done this where instead of the FTR getting in the middle and they're trying to help and save and the integrity, whatever, right? Could have had where the Bucks do Bucks things, they do shady shit, and they beat them. They beat the Acclaimed. And that brings out FTR, right? And maybe FTR still has some gripes to pick with the Acclaimed, or the Acclaimed still has gripes to pick with them, and you can still have that match, but you can automatically pivot it into what you should do instead of what you're going to do, which we all know is going to be a triple. This one's definitely going to be a triple threat. 100%.
Yeah, seems like it.
It does. So then the trios definitely cannot be. I
think trio's going to be Bang Bang Gang.
And then the winner of that gets the House of Black at All Out.
Or vice versa. Either way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One or the other. Like, yeah. I can see that.
Do a
So
good
then-
old-fashioned coin flip. Like one of you teams gets all in, one of you gets all out, call it in the air. We haven't seen one of those in wrestling in some time. After Brett Luger in 1994.
I always got my coin, my Stanley Hotel coin.
We are on a heavy 1994 night, y'all.
I exist in 1994.
I was 14 in 1994.
Kind of same for me. Mostly 13.
I would have been 7.
So I'm not
We're
nearly
the height of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm not nearly as old as Jamie is, so I was only 14 for a few months in 94.
See, I lucked out that I got to be like a child during the new generation. That's why everything from that era was super cool to me, because like I was a dumbass kid at the time. And then I got to be a teenager right into the Attitude Era. Like I think I had the perfect timeline for pro wrestling, at least WWF.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
But counterpoint, Jimmy and myself, we were children, like right at the beginning of Hulkamania.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair. I did miss most of Hulkamania.
Like I remember being a kid and knowing what WrestleMania 3 was, right? It was, and we got to live through that into our adolescence and our post-puberty into the Attitude Era.
Yep.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
Yeah,
Kids today got rough.
We lived in the NWO era. Like we were full on
Team Black, team Red, Team White. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I was Wolfpack guy forever.
Wolfpack all the way.
That's why my shit's always wearing black.
I didn't give a shit about the NWO. I was a DX guy.
Yeah, see,
running around crotch chopping in the 7th grade with all my buddies.
Yep.
Oh, we were throwing up the 2 sweets every time we saw each other. Bam.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of what might not be too sweet, could be bittersweet, if you will. There was a nice little video package of Bryan Danielson with The Time of Your Life, the Good Riddance song by Green Day. I absolutely hate that song with every fiber of my being.
Song was everywhere. That song came out my senior year of high school. It was everybody's prom thing. Oh my god.
Funny story about that. My brother's senior class, for their like class song for prom and all that, they wanted to do Good Riddance, but like I guess most of them were stupid and they wrote Time of Your Life. So it ended up being like the disco song. You know what I'm talking about? Instead of Good Riddance.
Oh my goodness, that's absolutely great.
Oh my god.
But this honestly made me really feel like they're gonna have Bryan Danielson win this damn thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I asked you guys last week if you thought that was even a possibility. You were both no. I don't know, man. It feels like because the whole shtick with, and I know wrestling retirements, but the whole shtick with Bryan Danielson is that he's a man of his word. That's his whole thing, right? He's not going to be forever done with wrestling. We know, everybody knows this, right? He's going to come back periodically for a match here or there, maybe a little run, this and that, month at a time, something, or be involved somehow, on-screen personality. For him to be done, I just don't see it.
Nah, I think he wins it all in and he drops it back to Swerve in Tacoma for Wrestle Dream.
Not going to drop it to Darby in New York City.
No, Darby is going to be a ghost. We already talked about that.
Well, the ghost of Darby still has a title match, but
real quick, one thing I forgot about earlier. We were talking about the Casino Gauntlet and about Hangman and all that. As much as I would love to see Hangman wrestle on All In with his current story, I would love to see Hangman be the next guy that doesn't get to enter the Casino Gauntlet because it ends right before he goes out. Like, I think that would be just such an amazing story beat for his character.
I'm with you. Like, he's coming down because it's a long walk up, Jamie.
Yeah, and someone literally gets pinned while he's making his entrance.
He's halfway up the ramp, and
please give us that.
That would be hilarious.
And it's one of those rare times where like the funniest thing you could do would totally fit in your story.
Yeah.
Please, just give us that.
Yeah. You've got me hooked. Yes. Yes, please.
Do it. Do it.
Do
Come
it.
on, do it.
Do it now. Do it now.
So after the match, Swerve comes back out and pulls out, oh, it's a taboo where he says he's going to cripple him, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'm just naive or dumb. I don't know. I didn't know that was really a taboo thing or a like industry inside no. Was that just made up by Taz or is that a thing?
As far as I know, that was just made up by Taz to tell a story.
Thank you, because it's like, I'm going to cripple you. And like, oh, you don't say that.
Like that gets... Tony and Mariah are literally talking about killing each other. Are we really...
Literally.
Are we really going to get uppity about someone saying they're going to... We saw Jack Perry and Darby set each other on fire. Like, it's...
I mean, using that as a pronoun for somebody, or
yeah, that's not okay in pro wrestling anymore. There was one
that's not okay in
and,
general anymore. Period. But saying I'm going to cripple you, I don't
like. Especially someone like Danielson that lost a chunk of his career to an injury. Like that's why wouldn't a guy trying to get under his skin say that? Like, hey, you literally lost years of your career during an injury. I'm going to take you out permanently. Like that's just shit talking.
I'm not gonna lie. I missed like the last like sentence or two he said because I was just so hung up on that for like what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, it's Taz being Taz. I think. I'm hoping it's just Taz being Taz.
This is only tangentially related to Taz because it involves Hook somewhat. I almost forgot when we talked about the triple threat earlier. I got a little distracted because of how good the match was. But there was a point in that match where Kyle and Roddy both tried to pin Orange Cassidy, and the ref was like, no, only one of you can win at a time. I got so annoyed at that when a month ago we saw Brian Keith get tapped out by two guys at the same time. I had to point it out. I almost forgot about it, but for some reason, talking about crippling somebody and Taz just brought that back to mind. Be better, AEW.
Be better.
Well, they had a couple of those because they had was it Excalibur threw out there we talk about the Christian Cage match. They called it a double DQ or something that was not the proper terminology at all. Or double. Yeah. Just kind of funniness, but
just you make your own rules and that's fine. Just stick by that. Don't just change it in a month because it's convenient.
Hey, Austin, I know we gave you some leeway earlier, but I'm gonna need you to check that logic at the door again, please. Okay.
I've actually got to go a step further because here's what made it even worse.
Here we go.
This spot was for the number one entrant in the casino gauntlet. Why couldn't you have two guys win and just make them 1 and 2 because they start the match at the same fucking time?
Your logic
has no advantage. They should have made it for the number 2 entrant just because there's no difference between 1 and 2.
My chair feels different. Did you steal my high horse here? I think he just stole my.
I think he may have.
It's not often I gotta rage at AEW a little bit, but come on, guys.
Well, that has been tonight's stash of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that was a hell of a pass.
So Cardiff, Wales next week. Like I said, they announced a pre-show match over the weekend as well. Okay, Will Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii versus Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway.
Hell yeah.
Yes, please.
That's how you do a pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. But there'll be more with that. But next week feels like a pre-show, pre-show, right? I mean, the way they're setting it up, they're basically moving shop to England early next week and going to be there for a whole fucking week, right? So it felt like a go home tonight. even though next week's technically
definitely
go home.
It kind of gives you that feel that like leading into a lot of the big 4 WWE pay-per-views where they'll do SmackDown from that same city on Friday, and then you get the pay-per-view. Like it makes it feel like a bigger deal.
I remember WrestleMania, like pre-COVID WrestleMania. They might do this again now, but pre-COVID WrestleMania, you would have, because you would start like Thursday night, because I think that's back when they had NXT still going on, right? So they'd have NXT, they'd have SmackDown, then they'd have the Hall of Fame, then they'd do the Takeover, Mania, and then Raw after Mania, and it was just like 6 days of like wrestled the fuck out, right? In this, glorious.
Is a bit much.
But it'd be cool as hell for those. But this is a good little kind of, like you said, get the little, even though ignorant American, I have no idea how far from England this place Cardiff actually is. I know Wales is north. So it's actually not the same. But
like it's probably not just right down the road, but like close enough for sure. I gotta consult the maps on this.
I don't know as well. I feel.
Apologies for the dead air, everybody. We're doing geography.
I know. I'm looking it up too. Wales.
I am not. I'm gonna go with
Cardiff,
it's northeast. It's northeast. It's not as far. It's like not up to Scotland, but it's like just south of Scotland over to the east is what I'm going with. Hopefully, I'm right because I have no. I'm not googling it.
Cardiff is a 3-hour drive from London.
Where's it at in approximation?
It is due west. As the crow flies.
Other side of the continent.
Towards Ireland.
Well.
But yeah, it's about the drive from Wichita to Kansas City. It's not far at all.
Well, that's
a day trip for a wrestling show.
You can drive from the tip of Scotland all the way down to the lower tip of England, in one day. You know, it
ain't like getting across Texas.
Nothing's like getting across Texas. I'm still baffled that that flight I told you about a while ago, like it was like 3 miles longer from from Houston to San Antonio than it was St. Louis to Houston. It's crazy. Okay.
That was our geography lesson for the week, everybody.
It sure was.
We got some knowledge. You got both doggos in with you. It must be storming real bad over where you're at.
It is. We're getting like 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and lightning and shit. It's coming down out here. I'm surprised that the power hasn't gone out. That happens sometimes. But the storm knew it was talking Dynamite night, so it's being a gentleman and hanging out until we're done.
I know. Like a couple weeks ago, y'all must have missed this, but y'all missed it. But like we were talking, I think it was when me and Jamie did the show together. I was like, "Hey, just so you know, storms are coming to my area of the metro, and I may lose power." You know, and literally like 3 minutes after we signed off, lost power.
Like it was like bam, bam, boom. It was like, "Okay, see you, man."
You guys have anything else you want to get to? Anything else you want to like tidy up on our sesquicentennial celebration?
It's been a great
word.
250 for 250 more and 250,000 more followers. You know, nothing major. We're getting close to our goal of 100,000 followers for everybody. Like and subscribe.
Just hit that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Boom. You know,
helps us out a lot though.
Yeah,
we do want to sincerely thank you guys. You know, it's like if it was literally just Jimmy and myself talking into the wind, it probably wouldn't have been made it to 250. You know, but we enjoy doing this. This is what we do anyway. You know, so it's nice to have a little forum to do it, and we appreciate those of you who do come in and join with us here. Shout out to our buddy Rob, our most excellent moderator Heather. You guys are always chatty, always here, always participating. You know, giving big support, being in the chat. We do appreciate that. Everybody that listens to our replays on Spotify or other podcast places, thank you very much. We do appreciate you guys for sure. And other lovely sentiments here. But with that being said, it's just 250. We got a long way to go. Come back next week. We'll have the actual go home. We'll talk about really doing picks for a pay-per-view this time because we totally missed the last big pay-per-view. We got to get that belt off of Megan one way or another. So,
I mean, she is packed for college, FYI.
She's going to college in the Kansas City metropolitan area. It's like,
I know she's only 30 minutes away. So.
It's not like she's going to college in upstate New York, where it's like a half country away. Okay,
I mean, technically, she is closer to Austin than you almost. No, because I mean it's Olathe, so around 35.
Yeah, that's on my side of Kansas City.
It's 2.5 hours from you. Thereabouts.
Yeah.
How far north do you think I live? Jesus, Jamie.
You live an hour. It's only an hour.
It's an hour. At most an hour, you know? But the next week,
well, I'm just thinking about getting it to Austin because you're never going to win it.
Go fuck yourself. All right. All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Again, like, subscribe, share. We do appreciate you guys joining in. Thank you for watching. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down till Spotfest, I got 5 words for you.
I had the thumb out, too. I was going to do 5.
My cat just went nuts. That's not what I'm saying.
That was 5 words.
Justin Fields actually does suck.
You know, this. What else would I expect from you? Bye.
I got him all.